Now, Nestle is a very well-loved brand among Malaysians.
Malaysia has become the most important Milo market.
In fact, 108 years to be exact, since
Exactly.
1912.
So plant-based is emerging as a trend, and we are also probably the largest halal manufacturer within the Nestle world. Very important role that Investel and Gore plays, especially on facilitating the engagement and the communication. My name is Juan Aranols, and I'm the CEO of Nestle Malaysia, and I have the honor of representing over 5,000 colleagues that work hard every day to give you the healthiest, tastiest, and more nutritional products under your favorite brands, Milo, Maggi, Nescafe, and many others.
In today's episode, we will be looking at a company that has had the trust of Malaysian families for over 100 years, Nestle. With over 500 halal-certified products, Nestle Malaysia has kept the market satiated with locally made leading brands such as Milo, Maggi, and Nescafe. Despite having a strong catalogue filled with popular household names, the dire impact of the recent COVID-19 pandemic cannot be denied. The company's second quarter earnings showed a decline of 32.7% year-on-year to 105.5 million ringgit. In its efforts to bounce back, the company recently revealed their plans for a significant investment going into their Shah Alam factory, where they are building a pioneering manufacturing facility for plant-based meal solutions. We will discover what are Nestle's long-term plans for the Malaysian market and the role Investel has played in helping them to achieve their goals.
Hi, you are watching Investment Insider with me, Cynthia Ng. Joining me on the show today is the Chief Executive Officer of Nestle Malaysia, Mr. Juan Aranols. Welcome, Juan, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's a real pleasure.
Now, Nestle is a very well-loved brand among Malaysians. It has a long history here, in fact, 108 years to be exact, since
Exactly.
1912. So what would you attribute the company's staying power to, despite the multitude of competitions that have popped up over the years?
I think you mentioned, 108 years is a long trajectory, and throughout all this time, we have been building consistently our brands, and we have been always remain very loyal to our original purpose, which is no other than use food to make good, to enhance the quality of life of everybody, and increasingly not just for today, but also thinking on the next generations to come. So Nestle always has been building business everywhere with a long-term ambition. And Malaysia has become the most important Milo market in the Nestle world, always being consistent with what we promise. And what we promise has been no other than delivering tasty, healthy, nutritious products, and also increasingly sustainable products.
So I'd like to pick your point about being sustainable.
Yeah.
Nestle is the world's largest food company. There is a lot of pressure for companies to be environmentally sustainable and to fight climate change. What is Nestle doing towards that direction to be more sustainable?
And Nestle started many years ago. We have been always, our operations, I think, have been very conscious of the impact they have in the communities. We want to have all our packaging fully recyclable by 2025. And actually in Malaysia, we are making good progress in that direction. Already 90% of our packaging is designed for recycling. And there is the other element more linked to climate warming, which is also what we do to basically reduce emissions. And we have basically committed that by 2050, we will have a carbon neutral operation globally, and certainly also in Malaysia.
One of the interesting things that I found out about Nestle is that the group is planning to move into plant-based meal solutions. And in April 2019, as of April 2019, a total of 59 Nestle products has attained the Healthier Choice logo or the HCL certification. And subsequently, I think you mentioned during the second quarter earnings that you'll be building a plant that will cater to plant-based meal solutions. Can you please tell us more about that?
Firstly, on the first element, on the Healthy Choice logo, That's basically part of an effort that we are doing consistently year after year, which is basically improve the nutritional profile of our products. And plant-based is an emerging trend that comes mostly from Western countries, which is more on the environmental kind of side of the concerns. There is also the business opportunity. So plant-based is emerging as a trend. We have actually they go in parallel. So in Asia, Nestle has only 2 production sites. One will be based in China, and the other one will be here. The one in China will cater mostly for the huge Chinese market, while we will be a production base not only for Malaysia, but basically for the rest of Asia. And we are very excited. So this will go live probably towards the end of the year.
That's very exciting. Nestle currently has 6 manufacturing facilities in Malaysia, of which 3 are located in Selangor.
Exactly.
Tell us about your expansion plans. Are we looking at more locations being opened here in Malaysia?
So as you mentioned, we have 6 factories. 3 of them are in Selangor, 1 in Negeri Sembilan, but actually it's 2 because it's a huge site, the Chembong Milo factory and then the Chembong confectionery and ice cream plant. And then we have also in East Malaysia, in Kuching, a noodles plant. So in terms of sites, probably we have those that we need, but we continue kind of expanding those sites. The plant-based investment that we just mentioned will be done in the Shah Alam complex, that is also home to our Batu Tiga factory that basically is dealing with the Maggi manufacturing. All your favorite Maggi products are made in Batu Tiga. There we have also Shah Alam, where mostly we do Nescafe and a number of other products. And we have also the Sri Muda plant, which is basically a recent investment, was done back in 2016. So in a way, Nestle is renewing its choice for Selangor, both with the Sri Muda investment and with the plant-based investment that will be hosted also there. And again, in Sri Muda, we are doing basically all our ready-to-drink products, no? The UHT, the PET products, etc.
Well, thank you so much, Juan, for sharing that. We will take a short break, but when we come back, we want to take a closer look at the challenges faced by Nestle during the movement control order, and some of the operational challenges that they faced, and how Invest Selangor has helped them overcome some of those challenges. So we'll come back after the break, talk about that. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Mr. Juan Aronol, CEO of Nestle Malaysia, is still with us on the show. Now, Juan, I would like to turn this discussion to talk about the movement control order that was implemented in March. That MCO has hit sales and lowered profits for Nestle's second quarter, which ended June 20th, 2020. Could you take us through the key considerations that went into your business continuity planning, when the pandemic happened and then the lockdown was implemented?
Firstly, indeed, clearly we cannot deny, and we also talk about it when we announced results for Q2, we had some impact. When the lockdown happened, all our activities linked to the mobility of the public, or linked to, the hospitality industry, hotels, restaurants, cafes, which are very important businesses for us, all that part suffered a lot. But we had the positive side with in-home consumption increasing. Many of our brands were very, very well positioned to capture that growth. I think it was not easy for anybody, but what we saw clearly as we move into the recovery movement control order, that allowed to kind of really go to some form of normality.
About the challenges that you faced during the movement control order, and I would like to bring the discussion, to bring Invest Selangor into this discussion as a first point of contact to help you overcome some of these challenges. Could you perhaps share with us some of the unique challenges that you have faced during that time, and how state agencies like Invest Selangor has helped you overcome those?
It was very helpful, especially on facilitating the engagement and the communication. Because, for instance, I can share with you, it was very clear to everybody that Nestle could operate during MCO, because Nestle is basic staples, for the population. but we were not clear how long our upstream and downstream supply chain would be allowed to operate. No?
As a company looking at investment long term in this country, right? What are the key criteria that you look for for expansion and so for investment, and how does governments or state agencies can help facilitate to make it a conducive environment for business?
Well, the first thing for sure is having a strategic location. No? And when you look at Malaysia, in the heart of ASEAN, in the heart of Asia, it's a great place to be, because also it has a very good infrastructure base. The digital network starts to be quite, I think, quite good. You have a very good talent pool, so you can access skills and capabilities. So clearly, from all these elements, it's a good place to be. We also consider, whatever incentives can be provided to attract investment, no? Because what we must not forget is that Malaysia is not alone in the world, no? It's competing very actively with other countries that sometimes can offer a lower cost of labor because they are less developed, and some of our neighbors in ASEAN are good examples. So Malaysia needs to compensate that, because actually Malaysia, about 20+% of our sales comes from exports. And we are also probably the largest halal manufacturer within the Nestle world. So clearly we have been investing here. We have renewing the choice. Selangor, as I mentioned, we choose again Selangor when we invested in Nestle Muda in 2016. And we have chosen again Selangor when we have decided where to locate the plant-based infrastructure that will go into the Shah Alam complex.
Juan, how has Invest Selangor helped you overcome some of the hurdles that you face as a company and help accelerate the business growth?
I think that the very important role that Invest Selangor plays is, for instance, in the case of new investments, helping us to kind of put the wheels into motion. There is a big work that is done to obtain the approvals, the permits, also everything related to registration of the activity. So clearly that entails quite some work, and Invest Selangor helps a lot in guiding that process. They also help us to set up all the utilities around the factories, the water supply, the waste collection. So all these are very critical, because also given our volumes, this needs to work very, very perfectly. And also the other element is also guidance on the environmental requirements. That's increasingly important for, I think, all states around Malaysia and across countries. And Invest Selangor has a strict regulatory framework, and they are very helpful in guiding us through it.
Well, thank you so much, Juan, for your time, and thank you for hosting us. We wish you all the best with your expansion plans and in building Selangor together. Thank you so much, Juan.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You have been watching Investment Insider with me, Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Toyota recorded quite stellar performance.
We went out all out, and we have the strategy of sales.
Are you optimistic about achieving the sales target for this year?
Yes, of course.